I liked the teaching philosophy. I have to say that's probably because I did a PhD, so I quite enjoyed that kind of deeper level questioning about what you're doing. The assessment strategy was good, and feedback. I think perhaps some more practical modules like that would be very useful for staff who teach. Maybe to give those a bit more detail.
I thought about this before. I think probably for me, the best and the most challenging is micro-teaching. And it's because you're so vulnerable as a lecturer. Here you are in front of your peers, teaching your peers in this fake environment, and analysing your teaching and your approach and all the nuances of the way you appear, more than myself now in this video. And it's just so good that the rewards at the end and the response at the end, and almost inevitably in the reflective paper at the end, the participants will identify that they were really terrified of it, they were really nervous doing it, really well prepared, very professional lecturers, people who've done it all, very experienced people, and that they loved it at the end. It was so beneficial, and they identify, and the growth and development from that exercise, followed on with the peer observation, which is a very structured, written piece, how useful that whole exercise was. So I particularly like that. I love practical anyway. I think that's how you learn.
For both of the modules I've done, I learned as much from the lecturers giving them and from the participants as anything else. So really, that to me, it was actually meeting up with others was so enjoyable. The enthusiasm was just infectious from other lecturers, and to realise that I wasn't alone in wanting, to keep freshness and enthusiasm in my work. There were so many others out there, and the lecturers who taught on them were really exemplary in how they engaged us in our own learning. And I really learned that in order for any course to be successful, the participants need to be actively working and learning, and I learned that through example on these modules.
I have to say the interaction with other staff and the discussions that come out of the sessions that we have, particularly with technology enhanced learning, has been absolutely fantastic. To be able to be in an environment where you discuss pedagogy or discuss how you teach, and to learn from other people's experience and to hear what people are doing in the classroom. I think we're in a privileged position when we're teaching on these modules where we can actually see what people are doing. So that has been a fantastic experience for me, and I've learned every bit as much as the people who are taking them, the students.
I enjoyed most parts. Initially, I was especially interested in learning theories, and we got a great introduction and overview. And I looked a little bit deeper into constructivism and how it is applied to maths, and that was very useful for me. I'm also using a lot of e-learning in my modules, and we got great tips and hints and ideas.
In my experience, lecturing can be very individualistic, insofar as you're the individual in front of the class and you don't get that much time to liaise with your colleagues and actually get a chance to see how they do things and bounce off ideas and look for ways you can improve your own practice. And the networking features of this course really stood out for me.
I suppose the section that I most enjoyed as by the second module was actually the technology side of things. I was quite interested in the actual idea of online learning, e-learning, if you like. I'm not a great believer in it because I quite like the face-to-face contact, and I know there's a lot of push in a lot of institutes to move more towards e-learning, and I thought it was a good idea for me to actually investigate that and see what exactly you would do. As it turns out, I actually quite enjoyed doing the e-learning, doing the online lectures, doing the Camtasia, doing the presentations, having the online classrooms. I would still have doubts about it's being rolled out for all the courses, because I think there's an awful lot more to learning than actually imparting information to students. But I found that probably the part that I enjoy the most and I actually got the most learning out of.
There were so many different elements that I really enjoyed. I actually can't think I was contemplating on yesterday about this, but so many different elements. There was a particular session on group work, which, because we do a lot of our teaching through using groups, I found specifically really useful. Many and varied, really. I don't think I walked away from any class or any Friday afternoon or Tuesday evening going, God, that was a waste of time. I never did that. Every time I walked away, it was thought-provoking. Everything was food for thought.